Aaron Rodgers, coming off that injury. I mean, he's expected to be healthy and ready to go this season. GM Joe Douglas saying today protection for Rodgers is paramount, and much of their attention this offseason is going to the guys up front.
And look, there's three different avenues that we can do this, right? Trade, free agency, and draft. And so going through where we are, the flexibility, going through the meetings that we just went through, the flexibility, AVT, I feel like there's some guys that can come in and be the right type of fit for us in terms of the intelligence, toughness, reliability. There's some good candidates out there that can come in and help us. We haven't won enough. I mean, that's obvious. But weirdly enough, I feel like the culture's in a really good place with the people that we have. We just have to go out and do it. It's time to win. Everybody knows it, so it's time to put our heads down, work, and win games.
Well, checking the Jets' offseason notes, most of the needs are on offense, specifically on the offensive line, where left tackle Mekhi Becton will be a free agent after an inconsistent start to his career. There's room for improvement at the wide receiver and tight end spots, as well as that group lacks depth behind top wideout Garrett Wilson. Booger, I want to start with you. What do the Jets need to do this offseason to help Aaron Rodgers?
Well, it's got to be offensive line, right? I think that's got to be paramount. If you go back to last season, just 4 plays in, Dwayne Brown misses a block, and then 4 plays. At that point, the season was over because Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. I think overall, when you look at it, it doesn't matter what they do offensively, running back, wide receiver, it doesn't matter. If Aaron Rodgers is not protected, the season goes down the drain. They have to protect him. We can talk about wide receiver, talk about adding more weapons. We can come up with a lot of different things, but they have to protect the quarterback. And especially now that they've released Laken Tomlinson, Mekhi Becton is a free agent. And so they have to do a massive overhaul on this offensive line position, and it's got to start pronto.
Yeah, I agree with you, Boog. I mean, it's clearly the number one need, and Joe Douglas obviously knows it. I think the other aspect of it is, as you look at it and you say, man, they're in tough shape. Like, how is this going to work? Let's not forget, like, how good Aaron Rodgers is. And the reason I bring that up is to say, look, really good quarterbacks who understand protection issues, understand how to adjust protections, understand, when the clock in your head needs to speed up because of a matchup problem that you have going into the week. Just being able to play with anticipation. The quarterback can actually help the offensive line quite a bit. When you have a quarterback that doesn't know what he's doing, that's holding onto the football, now all of a sudden, an okay offensive line looks terrible, and a terrible offensive line looks like a disaster. But when a quarterback helps fix it, helps erase some of those problems, now an okay offensive line looks like a pretty good offensive line. And I think that can happen for the Jets.
It can, and there's no question about it. But, I mean, they're going to need bodies there. I mean, to the point, we talk about Laken Tomlinson being released, Mekhi Becton being a free agent. So they're not picking in the second round. They have the 10th pick in the first round. So I think it would be pretty surprising to a lot of people if they didn't target a cornerstone offensive line piece with that number 10 overall pick, because at some point they're going to want somebody there even when their quarterback isn't Aaron Rodgers anymore. So that's a foundation that they definitely need to lay. But there's other business for the Jets to do. I mean, Booger referenced it. They are going to be looking for another playmaker on offense. A lot of people throughout the last couple of months have connected them with a possible Davante Adams trade, although Raiders GM Tom Telesco poured cold water on that yesterday when he said Adams wasn't going anywhere. They have their biggest free agent is Bryce Huff, the edge rusher. Joe Douglas, the GM today, said they would not be using the franchise tag on him, which obviously brings into play the possibility that Huff will sign elsewhere in free agency, and they would have to replace his production. And then the other bit of news today was Douglas saying that they've given Zach Wilson permission to seek a trade, which is, it's like kind of like giving me permission to seek an NBA contract. I think it'll be interesting to see if somebody can if Zach Wilson can get somebody to trade for him and the final year of his contract. More likely he ends up being released and signing with somebody else.